So if you've been watching my channel, you might notice that I am in a different environment than I normally am in. That is because I am currently in a quarantine program in a hotel in downtown Toronto. So here's a brief overview of where I'm at. UofT, the University of Toronto, is the school that I'm going to, and they extended a quarantine program to all international students. Basically, it means that you get a hotel room for the 14 days that you're mandated to quarantine for. You get 3 meals a day in order to live, and a lot of other things like things necessary for living in a pandemic: hand sanitizer, gloves, masks, these kind of things. There were also daily surveys and virtual health checks from nurses to make sure that we were in tip-top shape. They also gave us a thermometer so we can check our temperature to make sure we weren't running a fever. The school has a lot of hotels that they use for this program, but right now I'm in the Chelsea Hotel in downtown Toronto. Now I have to be honest, it's been a really cushy and privileged situation being in a hotel while everything is going on with the world, and I'll let you know how it's been going. Now I have to be honest, I spend far more time goofing off and not really doing anything productive than I am comfortable admitting. I spent so much time watching videos on YouTube, watching an entire series on Netflix, watching live streams on Twitch. It probably took up a large portion of my time here. But I did manage to stay productive as well. I have a work study, and I was able to get a large amount of work that I have been kind of putting off for quite a while done and in the books. I think if you are in quarantine right now, or just if you're isolated at home, I think a really important thing to keep in mind is you're obviously not going to be as productive as you normally would be. So that's why I wasn't too hard on myself. Obviously, it was a bummer not to be as productive as I could have been, but I didn't see it as too huge a deal. Although I'm locked in a room and I wasn't able to do my favorite exercise, which is skipping rope, I was able to get a lot of really good workouts done, just experimenting with my own body weight and with a resistance band that I have. In fact, some of them have been the most solid workouts that I've had in quite a while. I think that physical exercise was so important and impactful for staying as emotionally sane as I did, because it also was I'm still doing things that I would normally do, that would normally progress me. So it felt really good to get those reps in. The interesting thing about exercising in a hotel room means that you accumulate a lot of smelly clothes that you need to sort out. So it was interesting having to clean it in the hotel sink pretty much every time I worked out. Staying mentally well was almost as important as staying physically well to me. I made sure that almost every day I tried to carve some time out to meditate. I think that really helped keep my mood up and keep my mind on the present rather than everything else that's going on, or how long will it take before I get let out, and all these kind of negative or stressful thoughts. Now, being in quarantine, of course, meant that I had no access to my usual barber or anything like that. So I needed to experiment with doing my own beauty routine, making sure my hair was on point, and all these kind of things. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm not 100% sure on the back of my head, but I guess I'll wait until I get some weird comments about that to see if it turned out okay. I think that really when you start dipping below your standards of how you look, kind of affects your mental state. You know, you look like crap, you're gonna feel like crap. And I think that really helped keep me in a good emotional state as well, because every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, hey, this guy looks pretty good. I was actually also able to get a little more creative than I normally do. I was able to make these 2 coasters, all custom made. I even took the photo, and yeah, that was pretty fun to express that side of me. In addition to this video, I also made another video while in quarantine about me going pescatarian for a month. So check that one out. And before you go, leave a like on this video too. So that's pretty much how the quarantine went. All in all, I can't say that it was amazing being locked in a weird hotel room for 14 days. But it was definitely an experience that I'm grateful for, that I'm privileged for even having, and I really learned a lot from. I think it was a nice time to refocus, get back into gear, and get ready for the next year. I also was able to spend a really nice amount of time catching up with friends that I hadn't caught up with in a while, and it was a really great experience doing that and staying in touch. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed my perspective of being in quarantine, again, leave a like. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. I've been Isaiah. I'll keep improving, and I'll see you next time.